The 10-year-old boy was made to live in the attic. They shackled him and they made him sit for hours in stress positions. They made him sit like this for so long, his muscles literally teared. Hello true crime fans, today we're looking at a case that is genuinely difficult to stomach. It's a story about a total failure of the systems meant to protect our most vulnerable, and it centres on a 10-year-old boy named Takoda Collins. Takoda lived in Dayton, Ohio with his father, Manhattan McLean. To the outside world, things seemed to seem quiet, but inside that house on Kensington Drive, a literal chamber of horrors was unfolding. The details that come out during the 2019 investigation are visceral. Takoda wasn't just being disciplined, he was being tortured. His father, along with two other women in the house, Courtney Weeks and Amanda Hines, subjected this little boy to conditions that sounded like something out of a medieval dungeon. For years, Takoda was kept locked in a dark, sparse attic. He was frequently shackled, but the physical environment was only the beginning. The punishments McLean inflicted were sadistic. Takoda was beaten with belts and sticks. He was forced into stress positions for hours on end. Imagine being 10 years old and forced to hold a painful physical pose until your muscles literally began to tear, only to be hit if you wavered. On the night Takoda died, the level of cruelty peaked. He was forced to ingest large quantities of water, a form of water intoxication, and then was submerged in a bath. When paramedics finally arrived after a 911 call reporting an unresponsive child, they found Takoda's body covered in a map of scars, old bruises, fresh cuts, and marks of long-term ligatures. He wasn't just thin, he was emaciated. He died from a combination of blunt force trauma and drowning. What makes this case a true crime in a systemic sense is that people knew. Takoda's teachers at his primary school had made 15 separate calls to Child Protective Services. They reported seeing him eat out of trash cans. They saw the bruising, yet every time the system stalled because the father refused to let caseworkers inside. The cases were often closed or marked as unfounded. McLean eventually pleaded guilty to avoid the death penalty and was sentenced to 51 years to life. Weeks and Hines also received decades behind bars for their complicity. But for the community in Dayton, the justice felt hollow. The tragedy of Takoda Collins is a reminder that evil doesn't always hide in the shadows. Sometimes it lives right next door, and sometimes the people we hire to stop it simply look the other way. Thank you for listening today, and remember, stay behind the yellow tape.